Where do I stand at it?
Yeah, where do you stand with the kicker position then?
We're opening up Graham's window, so
So you intend for him to be able to kick this week?
we'll see. That's why we're opening up his window.
That's what I'm asking. You have an open competition? Is it?
If Graham's ready to go, Graham will be the kicker.
Hello and welcome to Big Dash Knows. Big Dash knows what? New York Giants football. Let's go. As you can see, I believe that I'm finally over that Denver game. Got to move on to Philly. The eye is on the prize. You got to beat Philly. So that's where we're at. But let's start with some breaking news. This is the update episode. We're talking about injury report. But let's talk about some breaking news. The Giants finally make a move at wide receiver. Not any of the names that anybody else has talked about. So the New York Giants have signed to the practice squad Ray McCloud. Yes, that's the name that everybody has been waiting for. But no shade. No shade. You understand what it is. So the New York Giants signed Ray McCloud to the practice squad. Some quick history about Ray McCloud and Brian Daboll. They both were together at Buffalo. There's that connection right there. Joke that I have is now we have two Wan'Dale Robinsons because they seem to have a similar skill set. Both 5'9", both 185 pounds, both shifty type of wide receivers. Cool. I'm cool with it. Again, signed to the practice squad, not to the 53. We'll see what happens with that. In other news, yesterday, the New York Giants re-signed cornerback Corey Black. The draft pick that we had, who left the New York Giants to join the Jets practice squad. Well, now we have him back to the 53 for the New York Giants, and we'll see what happens with that. Speaking about cornerbacks, let's go ahead and talk about what Brian Daboll said today at the podium before practice. Obviously, he was asked follow-up questions about the Denver game. He asked how confident he was with Tay Banks. And I quote, this is what he said about Tay Banks. Banks will do everything he can do to be ready. Thank you. Banks will do everything he can do to be ready. He's confident in Banks. Okay. Well, nobody else is really confident in Banks. The only way that we can become confident in Banks is if he starts to make plays. And a lot of people feel like he's not going to start making plays. But that's Brian Daboll's thoughts on Tay Banks. Another question that was asked him is how confident he was with Shane Bowen. He says he has all the confidence in Shane Bowen. So for those people that want Shane Bowen gone, the only reason why Shane Bowen is not gone is because Brian Daboll has confidence in him. And when you keep putting your confidence in someone that has let you down, ultimately it becomes bad for both of you guys. I can't trust Shane Bowen. Brian Daboll trusts Shane Bowen. So if Shane Bowen lets him down again, whose fault is it then? Brian Daboll's fault if Shane Bowen lets us down again. And again, it's not just on the coaches. Obviously, players got to execute. Obviously, there's certain things that happen. You can't circle just one play. But one thing I can circle as a factor to the New York Giants losing that game was the kicker not making extra points. And speaking of the kicker, as you may know, Drew McIntyre was released from the New York Giants yesterday. Today we find out that Graham Gano, the window for his return has opened for Graham Gano to the point where Brian Daboll said today, if Graham Gano is good to go, he will be the kicker for the game on Sunday. Obviously, Young Hoku, whatever you want to call it, whatever. Cool is still on the practice squad. I saw a report, I believe it was from Ryan Dunleavy. He said, you know what? Just for insurance purposes, we might as well activate both kickers for that game, just in case. And we know this is it's a slim chance that a kicker might get hurt, during warmups. What's the chance of that happening, right? What's the chance of a kicker getting hurt during warmups and then you don't have a kicker anymore? Like, what's the chances of that happening? I wonder if any team has experienced a kicker getting hurt during warm-ups and, ultimately might be costing them. Anyway. And I thought about it. I said, you know what? We always make all these other extra offensive linemen inactive. Maybe we just slide cool to the active roster and, hope for the best when it comes to these offensive linemen. You think Stinnie's going to play? Really? I don't know, but Graham Gano is back for the most part. Graham Gano is back. I saw him with young Way Cool, laughing it up during practice. He had some clips. Shout out to SNY. Outside of that, I was happy to see that Jackson Dart was not on the injury report as far as not practicing. He might be limited because of the ankle. I'm not sure, but he wasn't on the list, or he wasn't in the list of guys that Brian Dable named. Also, when it comes to the injury list, you got Darius Slayton back practicing today. That's good news. But as far as the injury report goes, adding some guys to the list that did not practice today. Sorry. Brian Burns, Goldston, Javon Holland, Paulson Adebo did not practice. And you would think that the signing of Corey Black might indicate that, it doesn't look good for Paulson Adebo. That's the way I'm taking it. We really don't know anything yet because, the New York Giants are the CIA, very secretive. And even though we can speculate that Paulson Adebo might be more injured than we thought he was, we'll see what happens. Javon Holland, same case. Brian Burns, we know it's going to be his foot. But we also know that Brian Burns, he said pretty much he's like one of the toughest guys. If he can play, he's going to play. If they okay him to play, he's going to play. He's just made of something different. And, appreciate Brian Burns and his intensity. But that's all of the practice updates I really have. Brian Dable did talk about Philadelphia and the team. He did say, he liked what Vic Fangio said about Jackson Dart, because Fangio was, showed a little bit of high praise to Jackson Dart. One of the comments that he did say was that all those teams that needed a quarterback that passed up on Jackson Dart will regret it. That's high praise. That's pretty much the highest praise you can get from an opposing defensive coordinator, in all honesty. He said he's very athletic and can do some things. So shout out to Vic Fangio, and he's been around for a long time. He's seen a lot of quarterbacks, has defended against a lot of quarterbacks. So that is, some high praise coming from a guy like that. You hear that, Denver? Even Vic Fangio is giving Jackson Dart some props, even when you guys can't and won't do that. But that's going to be the quick update and news for today. Quick summary. Graham Gano is back. As long as he's healthy, he will be the kicker on Sunday. The New York Giants signed Ray McCloud, wide receiver, who just got cut from the Atlanta Falcons to their practice squad. Maybe he gets called up this week. The injury report, Burns, Goldston, Holland, Adebo did not practice today, but Darius Slayton is back. And the rest is history. We'll see what happens later. Oh, before I forget, tune in tonight for the New York Giants War Room. It's going to be different than other War Rooms. Normally, I have a content creator from the opposing team that come on and discuss, the game. Obviously, a few weeks ago, I did have a Philadelphia Eagles content creator on. This week, it's going to be a group of people. I sent out the invites. Some guys said they were going to be available. So we got some Giants content creators that will be joining the War Room tonight. We're going to obviously talk about the state of the Giants. We're going to obviously preview, the Philadelphia and Giants game. But we're also going to share on some thoughts of what we've seen this year, expectations, where we're at, maybe some possible grades. We'll see what happens on the show, so make sure you guys tune in for that. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.